Hey everyone, Arnaldo Offerman, Master School Dances. Doing another CompuShow walkthrough video. A lot of you guys have already seen the first CompuShow walkthrough video. However, I'm doing this for two reasons. One, just to kind of go over the stuff again. For those of you that don't feel like, wanted to watch the same video from a different perspective or angle. And also because I have to redo our CompuShow stuff, not for my board, but for the overall company's boards, because we've now switched from our previous system now over to CompuShow. So first, let's go ahead and start adding the lights again. Your first tab is your controller, which basically shows you all your live options. Your button tab is so you can create new scenes, switches, cycles, edit, duplicate, rename, etc. Page. Now, page is basically means a fixture. Okay, every page is for independent fixtures or fixture groups that you have. So I'm going to go ahead and create a fixture group of 6 Nova scans. And I'm going to go ahead and find it. I can't remember where it's at. I want to say it's either on varied. So let's look here. And you'll notice there's already quite a few in there. Yep, there's Nova scans. Okay, and all the channels are correct. It is a 6-channel fixture. I'm going to go ahead and tell that I wanted the first universe, and I want to patch in 6 of them. Okay. Next, I do not want to enable any limiting at the moment. I do want to enable my switches. These are the shows that I would like to have for movement switches and shutter chases and such. And we're just going to call this one Nova Scans. So there it is. I mean, right then and there, I can grab any Nova Scan and move it if I want to do a spot or something. I can, choose my position, and I can go to my page, or actually my third tab, which is position circle, and I can speed up or slow down that position. I can turn on the shutter. I can turn on my dimmer. I can choose my gobo and my color. Now, what I like to do is with the dimmer, if I need to dim it something, I usually map it to the page because I'd rather just dim the overall fixture itself. But what I do is I actually go to these individual switches. I'm going to control click it, and I actually have my shutter on. So I'm going to choose dimmer. Oops, not dimmer. I'm sorry. Right click here and choose open. And then I'm going to go to my shutter and do open, and my dimmer all the way on. So basically that means that when I click on red, I don't need to turn these on. I can just go over here. Now, of course, if I want to override it with a strobe or with a shutter chase, then I can do that, of course. Okay, so I have the Nova scans. Let's go ahead and go to another new page. Our average show has, for our DJs, we're going to do we switched our old Parcans to the Mega Tripar profiles from American DJ. Now, the reason that we chose these over some of the other ones is simply because these are plenty bright for what we need. They have a very nice coverage. We can use the LSF diffusion filter and get even more coverage. But more than anything, I can fit, 6 of them in a nice little bag, and 6 of them will flood a dance floor nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the Mega Tri 64. With a lot of American DJ lights, like the Mega Tripar Profile, the Mega Tri 64, the QW, or just the Q series, and the Mega 24s, they pretty much all have 7 modes, and each mode is a different combination of DMX channels. And it allows easier programming, so I can later, if we later upgrade to the Tri 64s, we can swap out the 64s. Let's say that we have, a show where we're not going to use the Mega Tripar profiles. We're going to use my Mega 24s. I can, just swap them out and make sure they're in the same DMX address without having to reprogram everything. Mode 4 is my favorite one. It basically is because it gives us red, green, blue, and dimmer. Several, overall Parcan type dimming lights or anything like that give you red, green, blue, and dimmer. So this will be cross-compatible with other different Parcans if I need to expand the show. I'm just going to go ahead and add 6. Now keep in mind that I can always add more or more if I need to. There's 6 right there. Just go ahead and click next. Now I do want to rename the Mega Tri 64s. I'm just going to go ahead because I forgot to do that. So I'm just going to go and click rename. And we're just going to call them Tripars. And okay. So there's the Tripars there. I'm going to go ahead and grab the top part arrow here. And if you notice, there's these 4 arrows. This will basically change the position within the main page itself. Or I can go here and move it underneath this page. So now these 2 are combined together. Or I can just move it right here and just bump it off to the side, okay? And so basically, by hitting the color mixing all, you want to make sure that this level, this is a dimmer, goes all the way up there. So I can literally start grabbing the lights and have them whatever color I want. I can go to my color effects and basically does a nice little rainbow effect. You know, your shutter, your dimmer. You also have your strobe, which actually is a dimmer chaser. We'll need to make a strobe program, but that can be later on. Not a big deal for now. And of course, later we'll make programs and everything else, but that can all wait. For now, we're just adding things. The next light that our DJs use quite a bit is the American DJ Accu UFO. Accu UFO is one of those lights that, honestly, it's a great light, but it's just a pain to program sometimes because there's so many different combinations you'll be programming forever and ever and ever. So this is where switches really come in handy. We have mode 1 and mode 2. The difference is mode 1 is an 8-channel mode. Mode 2 is going to be a 10-channel mode. And the big difference between both of them is that you have your 16-bit panning or stepper motor options. So you can do, instead of just pan and tilt, you can do pan and micro pan, tilt and micro tilt. For the sake of saving DMX channels, because this is going to be a one universe show, we're just going to go ahead and do the 8-channel option. We're going to go ahead and just patch one in there. Usual, and we're going to call it UFO Pro. Now we will come up with different, again, using a combination of switches, right? Actually, let's go ahead and let's just go put the Nova scans underneath the Tripars. I'm going to move my master page over here. I'm not using the master page right now, so it's not really a big deal if we don't use it. So you'll notice right away, we're going to make this zone disappear. So how do we make this zone disappear? Because I don't need XY control, with the mouse of the UFO. So we're going to go to layer settings. You'll see where it says XY. We're just going to move it out of the way, and it's gone out of this particular layer. You can have different layers for different scenes and such, and we can go over that later, but for now, this is plenty for what I need, okay? We'll go back to our pages. Let's go to a new page. And let's go to our EFX 500. So we're going to go to Martin. This is another light that's a pain to program because there's so many different options. After a while, you're like, man, I don't want to, keep using or keep having to swap back and forth or, try all these different types of programming and or different program options and all that. I just want to be able to control, have an infinite, what I call infinite program options. And that's where switches really come in. Where is the EFX? It's part of the Mania series. Okay, so we have EFX 500, there you go. We have shutter, dimmer, gobo, shake, mirror dish rotation. That's the right one. And we have multiple ones of them, but we're just going to go ahead and do one. And that's going to be on channel 69. There, we add it. And we call it the EFX 500. Okay, and of course, here's a light with tons of different options and such. Okay? Of course, we can dim them. We can choose the effect speed. You can choose the gobos, or you can choose a built-in macro, which way the dish rotates, and you can move it up and down, like speed it up, slow it down. Your panning, you have different types of pan options that are in there. You shake, shutters, tilt, and just like the UFO, if you find like a really cool combination, you make one for a slow song, you can go into button, you can go into new scene, as you see it now, okay, and then it creates a scene that basically recorded all the switches you've chosen so far. But it's not a macro where it turns them on. It creates its own individual scene, which is pretty neat. Okay. And let's see, what else do we have next? We've done the EFX, we've done the Novas, we've done the Tripars, we've done the UFO Pro. I mean, we've got quite a few lights, but these are like the really popular lights. Of course, we have the Ecos, which are not in DMX. I guess that's pretty much what we can start out with for now. This is a very basic, good, easy show. You've got your floods, you've got your awesome centerpiece, either your UFO Pro or the FX 500, and of course, you've got the Nova scans. You know what? Let's go with an older light here. Let's go to... We have quite a few views sitting around. So let's see if there is a profile. It's going to be under Chauvet. Or, no, that's not under Chauvet lighting. So let's just try Chauvet. The View 3. And literally, of course, you have your individual clusters and your control mode. So we'll see how that works. We'll put it at number 78. So there's your individual clusters. And sorry all the icons aren't showing up. It's just because I'm running this on parallel. Sometimes it doesn't want to work quite right. I'm going to have to obviously make programs for these because these do not have a sound act. I mean, they do have a sound active, but they don't like built-in macros. I can just literally hit sound active, turn it on and off, and that's it. Okay? I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to put it behind the EFX 500. So you'll see there's individual little tabs. Of course, if I add a second monitor, I can just swing that right over. So that's pretty much it. The next step is basically I can use the master to create programs that encompass all these different things. So for example, again, like I said, on the UFO, if I find a really cool program I like for the UFO only, I can make a scene that recorded all these switches in. But let's say if I have a program that has the Tripars, the UFO, and the Nova scans, and everything looks great, I can quickly just make a program on the master page and save it there. But that'll be for a later one. So right now we just added very basic pages on here. Right now, I'm ready to go. I know for a fact that I could run a show. I might want to add some, color chases, but I can do a show right now based on this. It would be a sweet-looking show because I can control my speed. I can control dimmer, phasing, which once you do the order of phasing, and you'll have to look at my videos for that, you can do almost like fanning type effects. You can do all sorts of really cool things. But that's step one, adding the pages. Again, my name is Arnaldo Hoffman of Master School Dances. Thank you so much, and God bless.